Hey everybody, welcome back to the Movie Pod. My name is Isaac, and I'm joined by our co-host over here, Joseph. How are we doing tonight, Joseph? Second episode of the night.
Yeah.
We literally just filmed our Good Will Hunting review, and I just have something else I want to say, which was influenced by Good Will Hunting, but I wanted to do it in a separate video. Um, so as you can see by the title, my views, my perspective on film, on TV shows, have changed, and I think my perspective of them have matured. So that's coming right up now on the movie pod. So stay tuned. Alrighty, so you might be a bit confused. How has Goodwill Hunting matured how I view movies? Um, well, you see, Goodwill Hunting really had no big action scenes. It had a few bashing scenes, right? Punch ups from the junkies. But there was no explosions in your face. There was no superheroes flying across the screen. No superpowers. No, lightsaber duels and all these things that I love in film. And as much as I still love that, right? I envision a real movie to be Goodwill Hunting. This perfection storytelling. I feel like, yeah, it's cool, visual effects is cool and all that, but it always comes down to the story. Now, I'm going to be talking about Star Wars Andor, the Andor show, in a little bit. As you guys know, I'm not a fan of that as a Star Wars show. I do think it has great production value, but as a Star Wars show, I never really liked it just because it didn't feel like Star Wars. It didn't have lightsabers. It didn't have the Force. And when I'm watching Star Wars, I want those elements in it. I want lightsabers. I want Sith. I want Jedi. I want the Force. But I'm proud. I'm happy to say that Goodwill Hunting changed my perspective on how I watch every single piece of media. And I think storytelling has to be a 10 out of 10. If storytelling isn't a 10 out of 10, it's not a perfect film. The action could be as good as ever. The visual effects could be as good as ever. The sound could be as good as ever. But if there is no story there, what's the point? What's the point? I've said it once before, I'll say it again. I think every piece of art, so, film, and artwork, media in general, TV, will always have a meaning and will always have a story behind it. If it doesn't, then I feel like it's useless.
It's empty.
Yeah, I feel like film, art, TV, media, they are here not only to entertain us, but to inspire us, to guide us, and to open us up to new things. And I am so proud to say that Goodwill Hunting was that movie that opened me up to real storytelling. Real storytelling. That's how I'll word it. Real storytelling. That movie is going to heavily influence how I make my future projects. At school, we always make movies for assessments in film and TV class. As most of you know, I want to go on after school to make movies, make TV shows, make media. And Goodwill Hunting will always live in my head as the movie that I will look over to, that will inspire me to create a story, to create a meaning behind my art, and a reason. And I'm going back to Andor now. As I said, I didn't really like Andor due to it not being really Star Warsy, but I rewatched Andor after I didn't rewatch all of it. I rewatched parts of Andor after I watched Good Will Hunting. And Andor isn't meant to be that Star Wars show with the Force and lightsabers and Jedi and Sith. It's actually got none of that. It's still got its action, yeah, sure. But majority of Andor is amazing storytelling, and Good Will Hunting makes me appreciate Andor so much more because of its storytelling. I think if I hadn't watched Good Will Hunting before Oppenheimer, I wouldn't have liked Oppenheimer as much as I did. I thought Oppenheimer was so damn slow. Go check out our Barbenheimer review. We posted a few days ago if you haven't yet. And I obviously gave Oppenheimer a 4 out of 5. It was very slow, but the storytelling was at an all-time high. The storytelling was very, very good. Obviously, it's a biopic. It's about a real person. It's about a historical event. But it had meaning behind it. Of course, it is. It's a biopic, but you get my point. And going back to Andor, they did a different thing here. They showed us the perspective of the Star Wars galaxy through the eyes of normal people, through the eyes of somebody like Will Hunting, to be honest. Cassian Andor, you could say, is kind of like him. He's had a rough childhood, not a very good upbringing. He's smart, he's a genius, but he gets into a bit of trouble. But at the end of the day, he's a good guy. And I see relations between the two characters there. And so I appreciate Andor for the perfect storytelling. I think after the original trilogy, Andor is the best piece of storytelling we've had since 1983. I think Andor has better storytelling than the prequels, than the sequels, than all of the other shows, and all of the other live-action animated shows. I really think Andor has the best storytelling since the original trilogy, and I'm saying that with proudness. I'm saying that boldly, because my whole views on Andor has changed. I did not like that show. I did not, but I still would rather my Star Warsy elements when I'm watching Star Wars. But
of course.
I appreciate, what I'm basically trying to say is that I appreciate Andor a lot more now because of Good Will Hunting and the storytelling. I've finally matured and realized that you don't need all these massive things in a movie. Superhero films are fun. They are. But honestly, in reality, they're really entertaining. Sure, they open up our creativity, right? We're in a different realm in superhero movies. Everything's different. It's different. It's fun. It's entertainment. But you compare it to a movie like Good Will Hunting. You just can't do that. You can't.
No.
What I'm basically trying to say is, I wish in nowadays Hollywood storytelling was as good as it was back in 1997 when Good Will Hunting came out. Even before that, the original trilogy, the original Star Wars trilogy, as I said. And I think, Andor was a surprise for a lot of people because of how good not only the production quality of the show was, but how good of a story it actually was. Like the storytelling, it was fleshed out, it had a meaning, it had creativity throughout. And it had a reason, it had passion. A lot of film, media, TV nowadays is just big studios trying to make a buck. So
that's exactly what it is.
It's got no passion driving it. But I feel like Andor did. Of course, it's still Disney and Lucasfilm, but it's Tony Gilroy behind it.
I think that there are still films today that do have passion.
Yeah. Sure.
They're just harder to find.
They definitely. Films changed so much, and visual effects is something that is utilized in every single piece.
I think you just got to find the right thing.
Yeah.
Like you got it. Good Will Hunting just has that charm about it.
Yeah.
Has that kind of freedom.
I really agree.
But yeah, I understand. What you mean about how you've matured.
Yeah. I hope you guys understand that.
Or how it's kind of made you mature and understand movies.
Yeah. That's why I really think Star Wars Ahsoka is going to be one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars ever produced. Mainly because I think it's going to have good storytelling. It's going to have a story behind it with meaning. It could, Ahsoka, Sabine, Hera, they're going out to find Ezra, so there could be a meaning of loss in there, a meaning of regret. And Dave Filoni has the passion aspect. He has so much passion for creating Star Wars, and this is all Dave Filoni. And then it has the Star Wars elements. So I feel like Ahsoka is going to sum up everything that I love about film, TV, and media. It's going to have the storytelling. It's going to have the passion. It's going to have the meaning, which is storytelling. And then it's going to have the action. And then it's going to have the Star Wars elements. It's Sith, Jedi, lightsabers, the Force. So Ahsoka is really everything I want when I'm watching a movie. It's got it all. You take a film like, what's one recently? The new Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's really got no storytelling behind it. It's got shitty visual effects in it. and it was this Marvel adding to their MCU abomination to create a
Library
buck.
of
And
awfulness.
they didn't really create a buck off it. They nearly lost quite a bit of money.
Oh,
And yeah, I really think Goodwill Hunting has changed. I really want to rewatch a lot of movies right now because of Goodwill Hunting. I want to see if my perspective on them have changed. Especially with Star Wars. Star Wars is obviously my favorite film franchise, and it's always going to have a place in my heart, no matter how much Disney destroyed it. It's always going to reside with me, right? And especially 1 to 6, George Lucas's creation is just amazing, and
yeah.
that's perfection storytelling. That has a story, and I'm just really surprised how much Goodwill Hunting did mature me into realizing that film, TV, and media is all about storytelling. It's cool and all when they add like visual effect striking scenes into it with superheroes. That's the entertainment part of it, and I obviously need entertainment in your life. But as I said, every piece of art needs a message, meaning behind it. Otherwise, there's really no point. Life has a meaning behind it. What's the point of life what's the point of waking up every day if you've got no goal, if you've got no meaning, if you've got, you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah. I get you. I get you.
I hope I've explained that okay, but I just wanted to make this quick episode. I know Joseph was a bit silent this episode. It was a lot.
I've already watched it. I've already matured.
Yeah.
Although I get what you mean about Andor, but
Yeah.
I still don't. Yeah, I get what you mean. Like storytelling, it is fantastic. But to me, it's just not a story I'm that interested in it. I think that's my problem.
That's fair.
And that's just a subjective view. That's not. Again, I've said it a million times. It's a great story. It is a beautiful show, like cinematography, like
the production value of it is outstanding.
Yeah.
It's got the best production value of any Star Wars project.
Yeah.
Since the
So
original
like I appreciate all that, but just that doesn't. It hasn't appealed to me. Maybe it might now because it's Rebels and I've watched Andor. Sorry, and I've watched Rebels, but it's like it's of the Rebel Alliance, things like that. But I don't know. The characters never connected with me, and but I definitely get what you mean about how maturing is going to. It's going to open your eyes to a lot more movies to a lot more entertainment.
I'm really grateful for that.
Try rewatching stuff. Try rewatching stuff that you've enjoyed. Maybe you won't enjoy it anymore. Try watch stuff that you haven't enjoyed. I kind of had that revelation a few years ago. I couldn't say if it was Good Will Hunting. I kind of had that revelation of just good movies. It could have been The Green Mile, Tom Hanks. Fantastic movie. Saving Private Ryan. There's a few like just amazing movies, and it could be anything. But Good Will Hunting was kind of your awakening, if you want to call it that.
Yes,
and I'm really grateful that it was.
Yeah, I can't believe I enjoyed it as much as I did, and as you said perfectly just then, it's opened my eyes up to so many more possibilities in film and TV and media, and I'm excited to rewatch some stuff. I'm excited to see if my perspective on other stuff has changed. And I can't wait to watch the next new thing and see what story that has behind it and where it will sit with me.
Yeah.
Which will Ahsoka is the next highly anticipated thing coming out for me, and I think I'm really just going to enjoy that show regardless. It's Dave Filoni on the back end of the show, and I really think he's going to do a good job. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. Ahsoka's the make or break of Star Wars for me and for a lot of people. But yeah, I just want to make this quick episode letting you guys know that my views on a lot of stuff in the film and TV entertainment industry have changed due to Good Will Hunting and its perfection of a story by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I appreciate the story of art, of film, of media, of TV so much more thanks to that movie. And I really think I've matured with watching film and TV. And yeah, I think storytelling will always be the most important thing of film and television. You
Yeah.
know, it needs to look good. It needs to have good visuals and stuff. It needs to have good effects. It needs to have good cinematography. But it needs a perfect, not a good, not a great, a perfect story to
Yeah.
be a good movie. It needs a perfect story, not a great, not a good story, but a perfect story to be a good film. The entertainment aspects just lift it even higher. But the storytelling is where it starts. And yeah, that's all I've got to say. Um, so yeah, thank you guys for listening to my rant. And let me know if you guys feel the same. Has this happened to you in the past? Did one movie just you know click your brain together and just change your perspective on how you watch things? And if so, what movie was that, and when was that? Um,
Last Jedi.
yeah, yeah, quite literally did the opposite. Um, yeah, guys, let us know. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. I'm happy to answer a lot of questions. Um, so yeah, just comment down below, and we'll see you guys in the next episode here on the Movie Pod. My name's Isaac, joined by Joseph, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.